all here for you, Mom and Dad. And we're actually grateful for the opportunity to party with you tonight, close to Christmas. And we're excited that you guys get to go to Costa Rica too this winter. And we're going to miss you. We're going to continue with our traditional family home evening, Christmas Eve, I don't know, tribute. But then, so I'm just going to turn the time. I think we need to start. Do you want to go with the oldest down to the youngest, or youngest to the oldest?
Oldest.
Oldest.
Youngest.
Youngest.
Okay, we'll go oldest to youngest. So, my little message for my family, and then my kids or husband can pitch in wherever they just went. Oh, there you are.
Oh,
I didn't go anywhere.
right here.
Anyway, those of you who just got here, we want you, we decided, Mom and Dad, that we would, we mostly just pay tribute to you today. So each of the family members have something special for you. Ray and Corrine and I, our families, went together on these two pictures for you and a cake for our gift to you guys. And then also Ray also furnished their trip to Costa Rica like he's done in the past too. We really appreciate that.
Woo-hoo! Thanks, Ray.
So, if you haven't had a chance to sign this, what we'd like you to do is have you sign this. Only thing is you just don't write over their name, of their faces, right? But go ahead, I'll pass these around and sign it. And I also have, at the end of the party tonight, each of the families has a little, you'll notice on the favors, I put a little picture frame together with Grandma's and Grandpa's pictures when you first met, right? Or, I know, so tell them the story about those two pictures, because you have little love notes on the side. And so tell us.
Well, it happened when we first started to consider each other seriously, and we had the pictures already made, and we just chose the best pictures that we had. And I gave her one before I left the mission, and she gave me one that I carried with me and put on my wall above my bed. And from June to December, when I left in the car, I'd kiss her good night and good morning, and I wrote with, or we communicated by letter in those days because we couldn't call, we had no computer. And so the dress that she is wearing is the dress that I remember her wearing on the first day that I saw her in church. If that's not correct, you can correct me, but I believe it's the one.
The little frames out here.
Yeah, it's
the yellow picture that you have in your living room. And you say "Bill de mi vida."
Yeah,
you go
okay. And so that picture is when we first got to know each other and decided there should be something serious.
Awesome. And then for your...
Wait a minute.
Go ahead,
Let
Mom,
me see
do you want
if
to say
No, that's what it is, yeah.
Okay.
We give it these pictures.
and then in the paper, actually, I don't know if you guys know this, because I knew it, but I forgot, but Grandma and Grandpa got married on January 2nd of '61. So they got married in Mexico, because Grandma had to get married civilly there first, and then they drove, I'm assuming a week, because you got to the temple in Los Angeles on the 7th.
We just left the same day
Yeah.
that we married.
So
So
they were actually sealed on the 7th, but they celebrate their anniversary on the 2nd because that's when they really got married civilly. And then they drove with most of you guys' great grandma and grandpa Notario, and they drove to the Los Angeles temple. And then your great grandparents and the siblings' grandparents, they were also sealed together at the same time that Grandma and Grandpa Cook were.
Yeah.
So that's how that worked.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of you knew that already? How many of you didn't know that already?
Did not.
Okay. So anyway, so we celebrate their anniversary.
Can I give you an aside on that?
Yeah.
Something else you might not have
He was
known
too
is that
motivated. He didn't know.
I purchased a Studebaker Lark to go down in. And as I traveled down on the west coast, I got to Guaymas and decided that I should have it serviced and gassed up and wash the windows and that. So while they're servicing my car, they had the windows down and it filled with flies. And so I get done, I pay them, and I get out to the road, and just before I pulled onto the freeway, I paused the car and reached over to roll up the windows, shoo the flies out and roll up the window, and I hear this motor. And here comes a tanker truck in reverse straight at me. And I said, wow, he's going to hit me. And I started putting it in gear. Right then he rocked me up on my tires so bad that it put gravel in my tires, inside the driver's side tires. And when that lifted him up, and so it finally stopped him. And so after we got through with the judge deciding how much he was going to pay and all, here I have to limp along in a broken car, a crashed car now, and to pick up my wife, to be, and my in-laws. So, so I figured it out with the insurance company, drove it to Mexico City that way, left the car for them to fix while I went down to pick them up. And I said, and you got to hurry because I got to have it on such and such a day. And they only had about 3 days to do it. So I jumped on a bus and went down to Coatzacoalcos. We got married with the judge there and had our party at their home. And then we all gathered together that same afternoon, got back on the bus, went to Mexico City to pick up my car, and they had it all done. And it was so beautiful you couldn't even tell it was red. And from there we drove in the Studebaker Lark all the way up to Los Angeles.
But to Mesa to pick up Grandma.
Oh yeah, we picked her. Okay, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, we picked up Grandma. I left her at her sister's place, Beatrice Halfcock, in Mesa, Arizona, and then we drove over to Los Angeles to the temple. And there we met my older brother Cecil and his family. Who else was there? Oh, I think my cousins was there too.
They can Grace, your
Yeah,
sister
Grace.
Grace and your sister Laura.
Okay, thank you.
Well, anyway, so I thought that was an interesting little piece of information because I'd forgotten about it. So we celebrate their anniversary on January 2nd because that's when they got married in Mexico, but they were solemnized in the Los Angeles Temple on the 7th of January. But we
there's
always celebrate on the 2nd.
Yeah. But there's another big thing coming on the 2nd of January. Very important because Kathy will be 50 years old
Why
on the
did you have to tell
2nd
that?
of January. So
I'll
we
be
have
half
to
a century
celebrate.
old.
She was born a year later.
Yeah,
old.
so she,
50, half a century.
we had to kind of celebrate her too.
Yeah. And it's been a pleasure to do that. Every time we have an anniversary, we always do it.
It's been fun. So anyway, at the end of the party, we'll just make sure that each family gets a little frame picture of mom and dad. And then anybody that wants extra, I can print extra later and get those to you too later. And any copies that you want of DVDs that will be playing throughout the night or whatever. So anyway, we love you and
We
happy
love you too.
anniversary
Thank you.
and Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much because I know there was lots of work and
Everybody helped. Everybody
I know,
had an assignment.
everybody, I
and
know, everybody
it,
did,
so.
and that's what I'm so grateful for.
Yep, you have kids that love you and grandkids that
Yes,
love you. So.
yes, I know.
All right, Corinne, take the floor.